The concept of good and bad exists simultaneously in a parallel manner, and we need to view them at this level. Imagine a box in which we place both good and bad. Similarly, for teaching concepts like big and small, we place big and small inside another box. How can we teach an autistic child the concept of good and bad? It requires 4 steps: collision, differentiation, selection, and naming, with point-to-say consistency as the means of naming. The collision and differentiation stages involve language development. Sufficient language skills allow for the subsequent point-to-say consistency for naming. For instance, I point to something good and say good, then I point to something bad and say bad. Later, I point to one of them and wait for the child to say the word, which is point-to-say consistency for naming. The naming process emerges from the child's own collision and differentiation. My role is to create an environment for their differentiation. For example, we have 2 bathrooms at home, one upstairs and one downstairs. The faucet valve under the sink in the upstairs bathroom was closed by me for some time. When Hampu brushes his teeth before bedtime in the upstairs bathroom, he turns on the faucet, but no water comes out. After multiple attempts, he chooses to use the bathroom downstairs. This is collision and differentiation in action. I didn't say a word during the process. It is language teaching that accounts for 95% of our approach, while non-language teaching is 5%, which is an appropriate balance. Many people stop teaching their children once they start using language, relying solely on language teaching. This is why some children struggle with logical thinking. Next, let's talk about naming. At that moment, I pointed to a big brick and said big. Then I pointed to a small stone and said small. It became a choice for him. I pointed to the opposite sides, and he pointed to one of them. This is our 2-choice communication mode.